Hello and welcome. I want to share with you today a very exciting journal that I made, and it is for Sam Poole. It developed from a conversation about a millinery flower that I had made. So this is the bag, and let's pull the journal out. Really had a lot of fun making this bag. Lots of different trims and some silk and some laces. Has a little pocket there, so that's fun. I want to tell you about these first though, before we open the journal. These were gifted to me from Lucy at the Left Bank, which is a French shop. Lucy travels to France and collects a lot of wonderful ephemera and just beautiful stuff for her shop. These are from Woolworths, if anybody remembers Woolworths. It was a 5 and dime. It was 39 cents. And they were perfumed art flowers for all occasions. But the graphics on these are wonderful. Look at the graphics. And then these ladies right here. So I'm thinking they were probably from the 40s. They no longer have perfume, thank goodness. But they really are fun, and I want to include those into this journal package. So we'll use that right. We're going to use that to prop. First, the conversation with Sam started from this flower, and I snipped off a millinery flower with some leaves off a stem, and I adhered it to a doily flower that I cut out of a big panel. Had lots of little doily flowers, probably from her curtain or something. And I glued it there and Shabby marked on it. And I'm really happy to share because I have an abundance of supplies and wonderful people that I purchase from in my area that things like this are plentiful. So I'm really happy about that. This is bound with, I'm not sure what everybody calls it. I'm tending to call it belt binding, I don't know. So I made this with lots of different laces, and I put a key on there, and obviously that flower, and seam binding, and I just wrapped it around the book, put it right there. And there's lots of French laces. It is filled with authentic French receipts and things that I purchased from Catherine from Frenchbilletdoux. This little bag has mother of pearl buttons in it. Lots of fun little bits and pieces here and there everywhere. A tag. This one is a little photo case with a beautiful image. And in here there's some pressed flowers. It tucks right in here. Well, on the belt, but also could tuck right in here. The seam binding is inspired by Heather from Ruby and Pearl. And I didn't pull the seam binding out and around this back or this spine because I really wanted these beautiful laces to show. And so what I did was I used a method where I glued the underlace to the actual signatures that are bound with the seam binding. And they're very sturdy that way. It's just another method. Look how fun that is. Oh, wait till you see these laces. Oh, here, I'll show you the bookmark in a minute. But this is the back. And in here we have some more millinery. Just pull that right off there. Another lovely little photo book with this beautiful little girl. Isn't she sweet? And some pressed flowers and some onion skin, which I'll just let her open that. There we have the Silver Falls, and that is the annual that people mix in with their geraniums, and it dries just the way it looks when it's growing. There's your gardening lesson for the day. That goes back in there. And let's look at the charms. So I did a crown, an Eiffel Tower. The book is part of the title is leather, or says lace and diamonds. So I wanted to do a piece on here that said lace and diamonds. I used a little crown. Absolutely love this medallion. She is beautiful. So that goes over there, and I will show you what the spine looked like when we get in there. So let's put this here, and here we go. Once again, beautiful laces that cover a blue toile. Most of the paper that I used in this were vintage ledger pages that I have. And I scanned my wallpaper collection and printed onto the ledgers. Beautiful French envelope. Lovely part of a French receipt. Little snippets of lace everywhere. I did use some of Sam's collection of stamps. She has beautiful, beautiful stamps. Lots of little fragile papers. I ran piano roll paper through the embosser. My advice to you is if you're going to do this back, it does break up because it is very fragile. I still love it though. I'm very happy with it. On the antique wallpaper, this is the double lace. So it has a really beautiful netting underneath. And then when you flip it over, oh, the detail on this lace is, it's lovely, really lovely. I'm so happy with this little journal and had so much fun with it. Made a little pocket out of a handkerchief. Another beautiful French receipt. There we go. This flips over. An embroidered flower with a little mother of pearl button. This image on the ledger was a dotted Swiss that was on tulle or tulle, however you pronounce it. Embossed watercolor paper or handmade paper. Just little bits of lace everywhere. This is just a lovely little handmade thing. You can see it's just a 2-hole signature with seam binding. There is the bookmark. It was point lace and diamonds. And the book was about the upper class and basically their sins, I think. Their indulgences, we should say. But I loved the lace and diamonds part of it. So I'll use it the way I want to. Then beautiful gold wallpaper that I have. Some flocked velvet ribbon. More wallpaper, more stamping, an address book. This is another piece of millinery. This is a French label, probably either from a pharmacy, maybe, I'm not sure. You can still see the glue on it. You can see the papers that I used behind. And this is the front of a child's dress with a bit of the collar and the mother of pearl buttons. It makes a great pocket. So do the sleeves too, if you want to do that. This was rather tatted, but I was able to repair it, and it's stunning embroidery on silk, and it made a great belly band for these little pieces. And I purchased these through Instagram, not Etsy, from the Antiquetextileshop. She has absolutely stunning wallpapers and beautiful things, and she is such a joy to communicate with and buy things from. She's been collecting all of her life, and she's definitely worth checking out on Instagram, and I will put a link below. This is came from an earring. I've used a couple of pieces in it throughout this journal. This envelope I absolutely love. Oh, Yes, it is French. That's just so beautiful. So this was part of that collection that I got from Catherine from Frenchbilletdoux, along with a whole bunch of receipts. Lovely. Love this little tiny photo frame. It came from a photo album. I just thought it was so fun, and the detail of the gold. Loved that wallpaper. I did some embossing on a very piece of thin linen with some embroidery on it. My friend Pam Musselman told me the key is starch. So also I probably will try it again on a heavier piece of fabric. I know I've tried it on velvet. Velvet doesn't stay. The key to velvet is ironing, but you want to put a piece of linen or something protective over that velvet. But yeah, Pam said that heavy starch will keep an imprint on fabric. I love it. It's very ghost-like, and I thought it was beautiful. More of that gorgeous wallpaper on top of the ledger prints. Probably could lose this now. Double-sided all the ledgers that I ran through the printer. A beautiful embroidered flower. Flips over, a label from one of the French boxes. There's another piece of that earring. This is a lovely doily. It's heavily embossed. A really beautiful piece. Another stamp from Sam, and I just took a little bit of gold in there and just rubbed it in. I think it looks nice with the gold and the black. Lots of bits of laces. A pocket made out of lace. Another wonderful French receipt. Here, you know, I'll just do this and move on. There we go. Wallpaper. Some other beautiful extra little laces. I used that lace again, the double lace. Just gorgeous. A little part of a letter. These pages are from an antique French embroidery book. Yeah, you can see that on that part. This flips out. This is a kit. I will link it below because it's not coming to me right now. And it is plenty of pages, and it is images of embroidery instructions in this beautiful blue, and there's lots of Victorian dresses and things like that in it also. Here I'm gonna try not to make you dizzy, but there's the bride and groom in that little tiny photo, and there they are later as they're older. I adore this. This was in the photo album, so I kept it that way. And once again, a little piece of earring, more stamps, beautiful papers. There's a bride and a little tuck spot. Love it when your wallpaper has the instructions on the side. Created a pocket out of that. Embroidery instructions. This is a brown wallpaper that I have, and it came out really nice. I trimmed things in gold, and here's our, I think our last signature. Little snippets everywhere. Loved the color of this pink sheet. There we are, point, lace, and diamonds. The Bad Habits of Good Society, West Point, etc. So, and it was a book published by a New York company. And it was from 1875. Piece of lace. A letter that I used as a pocket. This is an original lace flower of sorts, handmade, all that fold, all that really detailed work. I love it. This I tied together, and I did do some copies of some receipts to use as paper and pockets as well. It's a little sweet little baby. Really lovely. This is from a cuff, I think, from a dress. A Victorian flower that you'd use in a scrapbook or a millinery. There's that digikit again, and there's the other side of that cuff, which I just put a little bird in there. You can see on that kit it has some really lovely dresses and things like that. This is one of my favorite wallpapers, and more wallpaper, and embellished it with this flower. I absolutely love it. This is a heavy cabinet card, and that is also French. Just very regal. I just love this. And that'll tie back up like that. Another piece of that. I made a collage here. Here's one of those wonderful original vintage, probably antique, we'll see what the date is, letters that you would write the letter, fold it. Heather from Ruby and Pearl XO has a tutorial on how to make these, to make them look authentic. You can copy them and make them look authentic, but I just want to share with you the stamp here and how it was folded like that. And you unfold it out and read it, and then you can, you know, put it back in there. Let's see if I can do this quickly. Ah, I did it. There we go. So, yeah, check out those tutorials on how to make copies of that, these. She gets fabulous Happy Mails from Angie. A lot of people do. And she created a way to copy them and make them, and you can't tell the difference between the authentic ones and the copies. It's definitely worth checking out. Here we go. And there is an advertisement from a magazine, an Embroidery. And there's a, look at that baby, French magazine. There's a shoe advertisement. This folds down like this. Loved the color of this envelope, so wanted to embellish that with some velvet. And here is a very heavily embossed prayer card. Beautiful piece. You'll see some more ledger on the other side of this. This paper was really fun to copy because it had glitter all over it. And instead of the, this is how the glitter came through onto the image, is these little dots. It's really beautiful. And I did sign it, and here again is the back cover of the toile with a beautiful lace. And I think this was just such a fun project. It inspired me to dig out a lot of different laces and use little bits and pieces, and it's a great use. I have a hard time throwing away any of the tiny scraps because, as you can see, it's amazing how you can use the smallest thing, but yeah, I think this is gorgeous. And oh, I hope I mentioned these look like snowdrops on here. Look at the embossed image on here. Really lovely old book. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I hope you enjoyed this and it inspired you. You have a great day. Bye.